All right. Week 15, but let's take a look at week 14 real quick before we cover this stuff. Um, what the heck was that from the Cowboys on Monday Night Football with that blocked punt? Ed,
That was embarrassing.
they had the opportunity to
Ugh.
put that game away right there. And this is something I've been seeing a lot of people's reactions to it today, about like they don't seem to understand why the Bengals got the ball back. And the simple explanation is, a lot of them were confused. Like they said, "Oh, the receiving team had already touched the ball," and they were thinking that they meant with the actual block, like up in the kicker's face.
Mhm.
No, the ball kept going for a good bit past the line of scrimmage. Then a Cowboys player touched it, so that thing is fair game,
Yep.
and the Bengals recovered. Which I
Yep.
don't know if that dude who touched it had the chance to like pull away from it or anything, but if you can't grab it, don't touch it.
Yep. Big facts.
And the other big thing you got to mention here from this past week, the what none of us saw coming, the Bills losing to the Rams 42-44.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Like I legit thought the Bills were gonna just cakewalk all over them, but instead the Rams put up a one hell of a fight, and they gave it to the Bills. Like they beat them in the most fair fight that I can think of, and I gotta give props to the Rams for that. Because like if you just look at both teams, the Bills are far more superior than the Rams, but somehow the Rams just made it work, and they got the job done. Neither defense showed up, that's for sure. Maybe the Rams defense more than the Bills, but in the end, it was the Rams that got the W over the Bills,
Yeah,
and I'm
and
sure Rams fans are happy.
at what point, like, the Bills need some help because Josh Allen is doing it all right now. Three
Hmm.
passing and three rushing touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, like
Almost 350 yards.
at what point does it? At what point do the Bills like just decide to? Why is LSU calling me? Oh, I'm sorry.
The
Um,
what?
s- some don't worry about it. Sorry. At what I was trying to say is, at what point do the Bills just like realize Josh Allen needs help? And it's got at some point it's gotta they gotta do something about it because Josh Allen can't be doing everything all by himself at this rate.
The question is, are they going to give him offensive help or defensive help? Because offensively, they're doing pretty decent. It's defense that's not holding up most of this time.
Yeah, s- yeah, for real. So I don't know what it's gonna take, but it's gonna they something's gotta change for the Bills, and they better do it quickly, as the playoffs are literally 3 weeks away,
Yeah, and
not counting this
honestly,
week.
at this point, I don't think it's a contest anymore. After a game like this, you want your MVP? Here you go. It's Josh Allen.
Hmm. I agree.
I don't think it's a contest anymore. Goff maybe maybe doing numbers, but he's not doing as good as Josh Allen is. He's not putting up 6 touchdowns rushing and passing.
Yeah, not by a long shot. Like at poor Josh Allen, his back must be hurting from carrying that team these last couple weeks. He's throwing the ball, he's running the ball, and he's even catching his own balls. It's just like the man's literally doing everything. At some point, he's gonna give out, and when he does, oh God help the Bills.
Or it's gonna
Pause. What
be
did you
a
just say?
no,
Man's catching
no,
his own
no.
No,
balls.
no, no, no. You knew what I meant.
Silence. Get your mind out of the gutter, heathen.
Mm-mm, this man.
All right. I was gonna say before Will spoke up, it hopefully it doesn't end up being a Joe Burrow situation because look at him right now. If his team's record instead of 5-8 was 8-5, he might be getting talked about in the MVP race because if I remember correctly, he's over 30 touchdowns at this point and
Yeah,
has like maybe 6 interceptions all season long.
yeah. That's I low key feel bad for Joe Burrow. He's having an MVP caliber season, but what is holding him back? That defense. That defense has held him back all season long, and it's really looking like a Drew Brees situation where as we've seen Drew Brees play with such elite moments in his highest points of his career, only to be let down by the defense. We know that story all too well, don't we, Saints fans? So Bengal fans, us Saints fans can relate. We've been there before. It sucks.
Yeah, I'm
So
I'm looking to pull up the stats here if I can find them because it's just from what I saw earlier. Yeah, 2024 regular season. He has 3.7k passing yards. He's first in the NFL. 33 touchdowns, first in the NFL. His QBR is 74.1, which is second in the NFL, and he's only thrown 6 interceptions.
that's just amazing. Like,
But his team
and
can't
you,
win.
yep. I don't know what it's gonna take for the the Bengals to make a turnaround because uh, it just seems like their offense should be just good enough to win them games despite their defense being so horrendous. But it just doesn't seem that way. I don't know if it's a coaching problem or if it's a defense problem. That's hard to figure out because your offense is just really good, but your defense is just holding you back, and the team is just not performing the way it should perform. Like it goes toe to toe with some pretty good teams, but it just comes back and bites you in the back when you make even the slightest mistake. Uh, I don't know. I just feel bad for the Bengals because they're really going through what the Saints went through from 2007 to 2008 and 2014 to 2016. Those years were rough.
Yeah.
So
Just oof. As someone who personally is a fan of the Bengals, I hate it.
I don't blame you. Like, I would hate that too.
Another one I want to talk about before we talk about the Saints from this past week, because God, there's a lot to say there. I
You
want to
ain't lying.
mention the Panthers on how they actually kept it close with the Eagles for that game. It's been week after week now for the Panthers of actually putting up a fight, and I don't know like what's gotten into them.
I don't know either. And I didn't see the game myself, but I saw the score and I was like, huh, look at that. Panthers actually didn't roll over. They actually put up a fight. I will say though, I'm starting to wonder, is Bryce Young the real deal for the Panthers?
He's starting to figure it out, I think, finally.
I think so too, because you don't see him throwing as many picks. You don't see him making as many dumb decisions. It's like he's actually looking like a competent quarterback, which is a little concerning for us Saints fans. I mean, although we got our own problems to worry about. So, but still, it's like if the Panthers had probably more adequate weapons and a better O line and and a lot better defense, I think they could have ran away
Their
with this
defense
division.
honestly hasn't been terrible either.
Yeah, it's like
It's
I
been
think
pretty decent on its own, but and like you said, you didn't watch the game. I saw some highlights. I don't know if you have, but the final drive of the game for the Panthers had some kind of black magic going on. They started backed up in their own end zone, and somehow I think it was third or fourth down. Bryce Young scrambles, avoiding like 3 or 4 defenders chasing him down in the end zone and gains like 20 off of it.
Oh wow, I did not. Wow.
They kept going, kept hitting passes on the sidelines, stopping the clock, going out of bounds. And at the end of the game, he takes a shot downfield for, I think it was Leggett. It is in Leggett's hands at the 2, and he drops it.
Mm, that sucks.
They could have won that game.
Based off of that, yeah, man, poor Panthers. It's it's like you really got to give them a lot of credit because when they started off this season, they start off the way we expect them to go, just absolutely terrible on all phases of the team, defense, offense, special teams. But then it's like they slow the game together, but the problem is they're just still not winning, and that's what's holding them back. It's like they get this close, but it's like, uh, there's a proper phrase for that. But anyway, they're
Close but
this
no
close.
cigar.
That's what I was trying to say. I could not get it out of my head. So, um, so with that being said, I think for next season, because this season's practically wrapping up in a few weeks, we ought to be looking out for the Panthers, and they're gonna have another high draft pick again this year. So it's like, gotta watch out for them
Do
even
we know
more
the
because
draft
I don't.
order yet? Or at least the
Not at the
projected one?
moment. I haven't seen the projected of this week yet. Last I saw, the Patriots were for the number one pick, but other than that, I don't. I can't say who else is in front. I do know the Saints are currently sitting at number 11, with their draft spot, which is no surprise. Um, but yeah, that's all I know about the draft pick.
Yeah, we'll know as these weeks go on, but I was just curious to see if they had already had a front runner for the number 1 pick yet. Um
Yeah, not
the
yet.
the biggest thing I think the Panthers need to focus on is give Bryce Young an actual wide receiver 1.
Yes, agreed.
And
Like,
wide receiver
because I
1,
think,
strengthen your O-line a bit and maybe get some defensive pickups.
yeah, because I want to give credit to Leggett. He's actually shined pretty well, um, in his time so far this season with the Panthers. It's like he's had some pretty bright spots, with the exception of dropping on that critical down against the Eagles. But he might be a worthy um, number one spot, maybe just a number two spot if we're being more realistic about the Panthers wide receiver core. But if he continues to playing like that, then Panthers already got themselves a pretty solid receiver. But they definitely need to add more receivers to that receiver core because it's not good. It's not good enough. So,
Yeah. Well, let's wrap up week 14 with the Saints. Oh god.
oh boy.
Me and Chris called it.
Yep, we sure
3
did.
point difference.
Yep, 3 points. Now, I wasn't sure how it was going to happen, but I tell you what, I wish it was a little more high scoring because that was just sad. Both teams' offenses couldn't do anything until late into the game. The Saints sort of woke up in the late third. Giants woke up all in the fourth quarter. Like, both defenses held each other's offenses in check. But you know what? Anybody's defense could help hold each team's offenses in check. That's how bad both offenses are. And the Giants played a lot worse on offense than the Saints did, but the Saints easily could have lost this game if it wasn't for some key momentum swinging turnovers by the Saints defense and also a block field goal attempt to end the game. So
The
shout
field
out to
goal
Brian Brzee for that.
the field goal is what won them the game.
Mm-hmm. Because at the same time, like, the Saints should have lost this game because had the Giants kicker actually made his field goals, they would have won the game.
Yeah,
Plain
they
and
were
simple.
rolling. They had all the momentum.
Mm-hmm. But because the Giants' special team is terrible, they just they choked. So, and then of course I don't know about how you feel about this, Jose and Will. But did you find Derek Carr's little jump, like that 2 yard jump that he did where he hurt himself? Did you find that a bit unnecessary? I'm just curious if you know what I'm talking about.
I think it was a little reckless.
Yeah, because like I admire him trying to like extend the play, but he literally got a whopping 2 yards out of it, and now it pretty much cost him the season because now he's broken his non-throwing wrist. We don't know who's actually starting. Have yet to confirm who the starter is for this week. I would presume it's gonna be Jake Hayner from what I've been hearing. It might be Rattler again. I don't know, but from what I'm hearing, it might be Jake Hayner. But still, it's like Derek Carr. What were you thinking, bro? It there's no reason to try to play the hero ball, and that's in that moment. You literally could have just ran the ball or just run out of bounds. You could have gotten 2 yards. It was only first down anyway, or second down, whichever down it was. So it's like I don't know what he was thinking there. So
Probably just a
that
heat of
was a
the
very
moment thing, but still.
maybe so. But I'm glad we got the W. I'm happy. At least we're up to 5 wins now. The rate at the season we were going, I thought we'd be lucky to break 4, but we got 5. At the same time, it would have been nice to have a pretty high draft pick, but here we are. This same team just doesn't want to quit, and I have to give them respect for that. But at the same time, I can't help but think, is it really worth fighting for all these games? Like the Saints at some point got to realize this season's done. The Buccaneers are going to end up taking the division. We're not going to the playoffs. We lost too many games. It's like, at what point do the Saints realize it's time to just put it away? Just start playing your backups, tank for the rest of the year. What's it going to take? That's just my question for the Saints. Like, we know we need to get better. We need to get better players, and having a relatively high draft pick really helps us out. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, with that, let's move on to this week's, starting with Thursday night football. We got the Rams and the 49ers. It's in San Francisco.
I got the Rams in this matchup. Um, I feel like sure this is a divisional game, but this Rams team is kind of slowly waking up. Like, and this Niners team, well, they're kind of falling apart. I mean, they kind of lost all their run game. Their passing game isn't all that great. The Rams are just like cooking it up left and right, and that big game against the Bills really helps them out. It wouldn't surprise, and even though the Rams are on the road for this matchup, I expect them to win by at least 7.
Honestly, and looking back at their previous matchup earlier this season, when the 49ers, I think, were more healthy, the Rams won that. I think I got to side
Mm-hmm.
with you there, Chris.
Yeah. So, Will, your thoughts?
No, I agree. It sucks for the Niners. Long season, rough season. Starting with Debo out, then Ayuk, then McCaffrey out, back and out again. Then they find a Jim and Jordan Mason who's out. Then they find a Jim and Isaac who's out. Like now they're down to RB4 and Patrick Taylor. Like not good recipe at all. Like it's
Not
terrible. And like
good.
you said, coming off a crazy win against Buffalo, even with it being in San Francisco, I don't think that's gonna matter. I think it's Rams for sure.
Yeah. Does
And
anybody
Paulo
have?
also,
I was about to say Paulo. What was his?
he picked the Rams as well.
Oh, and we should probably mention for unspecified reasons he's not here tonight.
Yeah, gotta love that. Typical Paulo.
All right.
Anyway, moving on.
Starting off Sunday's games, we got the Cowboys at the Panthers.
I like a normal person would say pick the Cowboys. They're clearly better than the Panthers. But I'm going with the Panthers for this matchup. I've just been very impressed with how they've been playing lately. And the Cowboys, well, they've completely lost it at this point. Like especially that clown show ending of that Bengals Cowboys matchup from this past week, and that's just embarrassing, man. Like, and the way the Panthers have been playing, they're fighting hard. Thing is, they're not getting wins. So that's what's holding them back. But I think they'll actually get over that hump this week against Cowboys. So I'm taking Panthers by 3.
I think this one might be close because the Cowboys defense now has sustained a few injuries from that Monday night game, and not small ones. they they have been kind of struggling on offense a little bit. That was one of their better games in recent weeks. And like you said, the Panthers are starting to gain a little bit of heat there. I think I'm gonna side with you on this. Panthers by 3. I just don't see the Cowboys. I don't see them winning.
Me either.
I'm gonna be actually opposite on this one.
Oh,
As well as the Panthers have, I wouldn't even say as well as what they've been doing recently. I don't think that justifies a win. I know Paulo also sided with y'all going Panthers over Cowboys, but it's still the Cowboys. And I mean, yes, they lost to the Bengals, but look at how they lost. Like on a muffed putt situation, very weird ending to a game. One of those weird endings that you don't see very often. So I don't think that justifies that
No, no,
the
Will.
Panthers are just going to automatically win.
Not a muffed punt, a blocked one that then got knocked into the air and recovered by the
That he
Bengals.
muffed. No, a Cowboys defender muffed it after trying to recover it. Go back and watch. After it was blocked, he tried to catch it and muffed it. That's why Cincinnati was able to recover it. But yes, regardless, I don't think that justifies the Panthers winning at all. I still think the Cowboys will manage to win this one. I mean, better receivers, defense is better than what the Panthers have for sure. So, but as much as I don't want them to, I don't care about them winning. I do see them pulling this one out.
Right? And like you said, Paulo has also
ready.
chosen the Panthers. Next up, we have Chiefs at the Browns. As much as I would like the Browns to win this, I would love to see Jameis Winston beat the Chiefs. Um, I don't think it's going to happen. The Chiefs have some black magic and voodoo on their side this season.
Yeah, I would love to see the Browns win. And quite honestly, I think the Browns could keep it close because the Chiefs have been playing it close with every single opponent they played this year. But as you just said, Jose, they got some kind of black magic going on over there in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Chiefs as well. I hate that, but it I wouldn't be upset if the Browns did find a way to win. But I just don't see that happening. Sadly,
No, I agree. I agree. It would be nice. You know, the way Cleveland's been playing, they've been playing a dogfight with Jameis. But like it was, I think it best described it some voodoo magic. I don't know what they did. I think Jose nailed it. They sacrificed Jackson Mahomes because we ain't seen him all year. Something's going on because there's no way they should be winning like they are. They should not have, was it 12-1, 11-1
They're 12-1.
record
something
like
like
they
that.
do? There's no way. Um, not the way they've been playing.
Let's just go
Like
back to
they're
last week.
barely winning
Let's just go
games.
back to last week. That was a nail biter of a game for the Chiefs against the Chargers. And the way they won was off a field goal last second that doinked off the upright. I mean, it hit like dead center on the upright. It had a 50-50 of going in or out, and it bounced in. They won that off of sheer luck.
If you ain't lying.
Not to mention barely beating the Raiders, barely beating the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Excuse me?
It's like we
In
said, they
theory,
played to the level of their opponent, but they always
yeah,
somehow
Which
manage to pull it out.
which for a team that's won back-to-back Super Bowls and going for a three-peat, you would think they would be absolutely dominating teams such as the Panthers, you know, and
right.
losing or barely beating teams like the Bills. and the Ravens, but it's not that at all.
Yeah, this Chiefs team just doesn't make a whole lot of sense because, eh, like in theory, the way they play this year, they should have more than 5 losses, and they just keep winning and getting away with it. It's just like, what can other than the Bills? Who else can stop this Chiefs team? Like, just put them to the ground, put them out of their misery. Like something's gotta give at some point.
Yeah.
Because at the rate they're going, they might end up with the #1 seed in the AFC playoffs. It's like, and I hate that because if you give the Chiefs home field advantage, they hardly ever lose in Arrowhead Stadium. So that's a tall task to do.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But I believe Paulo also picked Chiefs, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Dolphins at the Texans. Will, take it away.
Yes, we all know my pick. It will be the
Well,
Texans.
yes.
Duh.
Uh, but the good thing is this could go good or bad. Coming off of a bye week, you've had time to heal a lot of people who were had slight injuries. Get a game plan together going into this. We're about to play. They're going to play 3 games in 10 days, starting not this week but next weekend. So this is about to be a precedent, starting with Miami. Unfortunately, the Jalen Petrie, starting strong safety, is out for the season with a pectoral injury. Who had to have season-ending surgery today, which is terrible.
Ow.
Hope they kept him off IR for the longest, hoping it wasn't going to be that bad. Things happen, unfortunately. Season's over, but we still have quite a few strong secondary players.
If
The
I'm
issue
correct,
is going to be their
y'all are gonna be without Al too.
yeah, for 3 games due to a BS suspension because quarterbacks are
Mm,
soft in this league. Yeah, don't even.
I don't know
People
about that.
very soft in this league. This league has become super soft with quarterbacks, but we'll leave that alone. Um, the issue with Miami is there's too many weapons to cover. Tyreek, Waddle, Achan, like there are so many issues that this defense has to be A1 from minute one to the 60th minute.
isn't OBJ
But
in there
that's
somewhere
Houston.
too?
Sure, we'll say that. Why not? I think he's got 10 catches on the year,
No,
if
but I
that's
know
your
he's in there
concern.
somewhere.
He is very seldomly and randomly, one catch a game. Um, but they have to be on A game from the start. Running game has to be established early, which they have not been doing lately. Apparently, Kenyon Green is back. We shall see if he starts, if he takes back over on that line on the left side, a left guard. I hope not, because he was atrocious, allowing for 3 sacks in a row a few while back. There's just so many factors, but they have to be on A game from the very start. Nothing like they have been recently, where they barely pulled off wins or they lose to the Titans. Like it's got to be. You're about to face Miami, KC, Baltimore. Like this is the trenches. What they are going through this season. So this is the time to prove it. They've just about they can clinch the playoff spot with a win this week and a Colts loss to the Broncos.
Which is
So
very
they know
possible.
what they're playing for. So as much
I'm
faith as
not
I have in
gonna
them, there's still the flip side. There's still the flip side, unfortunately.
I'm not gonna disagree with you though. I think it should be the Texans in this. The Dolphins have gotten better since Tua got back, but they still struggle here and there when they really shouldn't be. I'm going Texans.
Yeah, I'm going Texans as well. It's all I'm gonna really say about this game is I think it'll be pretty close because the Dolphins' offense is gonna be pretty hard to stop, as Will mentioned, and considering that Texans have some pretty significant missing pieces on the defensive side of the ball, that's gonna be hard stop. Unless for some bizarre reason the Miami Dolphins just have an absolute off day, which I'm not expecting. So, but I'm taking Texans. I'm taking them by 3, and it's gonna be a pretty close game.
All right. Moving on. Oh, this is terrible. Who scheduled this? The Jets and the Jaguars. I don't.
That's yeah.
I don't want to pick one of them. They both suck.
Yeah, I think my garbage can looks like a better matchup than these two teams. Like, good grief.
You know what? Just out
But
of spite, I'm picking the Jaguars because
yeah,
I can't stand the Jets at this point.
well, Apollo's going to disagree with you on that. He actually picked the Jets, or did he? Yeah, he picked the Jets. But I'm also going to pick the Jaguars because the Jets just suck. Like,
Did they
they're just.
did they lose Adams this past week?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
So I remember seeing he got hurt, but I don't know if he ever returned to the game.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. But even if with or without Adams, that it doesn't really change how the Jets are. The Jets just simply suck, and they're just as bad as the Jags. And I think the Jags might actually get their 4th win this year, so I'm taking Jags by 7. I think we know what Will was going to say.
Well, yeah.
Well, not only that, I think you're completely wrong. Jags beating the Jets, Mac Jones beating the Jets. Are we serious? They barely beat the Titans 10-6 last week.
Yeah, and the
Like,
Texans
let's
didn't beat the
be
Titans. So,
Titans. That's a
yeah,
new name. That's a
Titans.
weird name.
God.
All right. Let's be realistic. Like, come on with our decisions. Like, what are we doing here? Really saying the
Like I
Jags
said,
should beat
mine
the
is out of
Jets?
spite.
You're ridiculous. So is mine. That's why the Jets are gonna win. But even regardless, like even if you have Trevor Lawrence in there, I'm still taking the Jets. Like regardless, put aside the hate. Being 100% honest, like there's no way the Jags were ever gonna beat the Jets. It's it's not possible. It's not gonna happen.
My other thing with the Jets is that it's true that Jags have Mac Jones and he's just absolutely putrid garbage. Uh, it's just the Jets have Aaron Rodgers, and I can't believe this sentence come in my mouth. He is garbage. As like he's not that good anymore. Like he's old, we said like a dozen times this season. He has completely lost as a quarterback. He simply needs to retire. And
You say
usually
that,
when
but they almost beat Miami last week.
yeah, but
So
that's division rivals.
Almost beating Miami. Going to the Jags. We're talking about the Jags are gonna win on a flip. Like that's insane.
It sounds insane, I know, but just seeing how the
Bruh.
Jets are, it's just I don't have any faith whatsoever in the Jets, even while
The
they
Chris
have
owes
Aaron
me
Jets.
Chris
Rodgers.
owes me a drink Saturday if the Jets win. I'm volunteering.
Hey, I'm down for those odds.
Oh my
gladly
god.
treat you.
That's how blind you are.
My thing with it is that the Jets somehow always find new ways to lose games. Even when it looks like they've got it sewed up. Like they were handling Miami pretty well in that game, and then all of a sudden Miami had something click and came back.
I mean, and that just happens. I mean, it's Miami. Look how they've been playing all season since Tua's been back. Like it's just Miami. Like they have the weapons to do it. You know, we're talking about the Jags with maybe the worst quarterback from Bama and Mac Jones, and we're talking about that they're gonna beat the Jets. Like, come on. What are we doing?
I don't have faith in either team, so I'm just doing wild crap.
That's fine. We'll split 50-50 because Paulo also took the Jets. Like
Well, yeah,
at
I
least
figured he would.
I have someone with reason, so oh, and
Hey,
Paulo took the Texans. I don't think we said that for the last game.
I'm not trying to be reasonable. I'm trying to cause chaos.
For no reason.
Chaos.
All right, next up, and I don't think this should be a question at this point. Commanders at the Saints. We got no Derek Carr. It's going to be either
Unfortunate.
Hayner or Rattler. And this might
Yeah.
be the debut for the Commanders, Marshawn Lattimore.
That is true. Yeah,
Marshawn
and
revenge game.
Yeah, and she'll been wondering what has happened with Marshawn Lattimore. You don't hear his name at all. Well, it's simple. He has yet to play a game since he got traded to the Commanders. So, and now he's finally able to play. And of course, and I called this weeks ago. I said the day he got traded, and the day he got traded, I said, yeah, he's gonna probably play against the Saints. You watch, and here we are. He's about to play against the Saints. So it just makes sense. That's just how it happens. So, but yeah, no Derek Carr. If we had Derek Carr, maybe, but still, the way that the team looks and we struggle against a really bad Giants team, that gives me no hope whatsoever. So I think the Commanders are just going to have a field day all over us. Like Jake Hayner's going to try, or Jake Hayner, Spencer Ladder, whoever's going to be playing this weekend. Good luck. Try your best. Just don't look stupid while you at it. But Commanders will win by 2 touchdowns, I think.
Feel the same.
I think that's fair to say. I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
But I think
It's just,
what has to happen though is that Kamara has to be involved. He hasn't scored a touchdown since like week 7 or 8.
mm-hmm.
Like here we are week 15 without a touchdown. 7 weeks without one is insane.
Yeah,
And
but
it's
he
not his
Yeah.
also
fault. The O line is just I'm there's like I said, it's not his fault when the O line is playing like they're playing and injured. There are injuries on that O line, and
Yeah.
it's just bad.
Yeah.
also now
And
you're
also,
acknowledging the O line is bad. Last week y'all was fighting me on that.
Nah,
uh,
no one was fighting you. You just wanted to blame everything on the O line.
No, I just wanted to say that was our main problem, other than the injuries, which it was. But what I'm looking more at, Will, is like, yeah, it's probably due to the O line here, but Kamara also hasn't had that many rushing yards in each game these past few weeks.
Which he should, which is insane because Kendra Miller and Jamal Williams are on very limited touches, which is still insane that you went and got Jamal Williams, who had the best year of his career and all running backs,
And never
and
use
you
him.
put him at RB2
No, he's 3 at
and
this
don't
point.
use him. Yeah, well, now he is. He was RB2, and then Kendra Miller stepped up because he got hurt. And you don't use him for 2 years. What is the point? Why?
yeah.
You know what you have. You could literally have the same thing that the Lions had in Gibbs and Montgomery with Kamara and Williams. You potentially have it, but you don't know what you're doing. And it's
Yeah.
shown. That's why he got fired.
Yep.
And
And
Rizzi's not doing any better.
yeah, like that's the Rizzy. I think has done a adequate job, but we all of us here know he's not the answer to the Saints' problems,
No.
like coaching problems. That is. So we definitely will likely be getting a new head coach. I would
Oh, for
assume.
sure.
Like if
I
they
would
actually,
honestly like to see y'all go get Vrabel because he is still out there.
Please.
hey, he's in my top 5 coaches list right now. So it's like I wouldn't
Hmm.
say no to him.
So that begs the question, who is your others?
Ben Johnson's one of them,
Yep.
for obvious reasons. Uh,
Eric Bieniemy's available. He no longer
yeah,
coaches collegiate.
yeah, that's
And we
another
saw what he
one.
did with the Chiefs for years.
Um, was there a guy named Cliff? I can't remember.
Kingsbury, no, he's going somewhere else.
Oh well, scratch him off the list then.
Cliff
uh,
Kingsbury's elsewhere. They have him in other ties or estimated other ties.
gotcha. Uh, well, that being said, that's
That's it. That's his
yeah, that's
list.
about it. That's my list so far. I have to do a little more research, but yeah. But anyway, it's like Coach Rizzi has done a pretty fine job. I think that it would be a huge mistake if the Saints bring him back as the official permanent head coach because we also had that happen with Dennis Allen. do we really want to repeat of that? Like I
Not
said in the
only that,
previous, what?
comparison to Antonio Pierce and the Raiders. Look what
Yeah,
happened. Interim last year did decent, brought him back this year atrocious.
yeah, for real,
Like learn from past mistakes, please, for the
exactly.
betterment of y'all.
Exactly. Like I said in the previous video, we need just a complete reset. Like we need to just clear the house, get a whole new coaching staff, get a whole new focus, mindset, whatever, culture, you name it. Like we need a whole reset. This Saints team drastically needs it. And it starts with this off season, making the right move to get the right head coach, get get that coach's guys in as quick as possible. And I don't care how you do it, just do it. Just for the love of God, please don't hire in house ever again because it clearly backfired so bad these last 3 years. It's just embarrassing. So and like I said, I give a lot of credit to Coach Rizzi. He's done an adequate job, but that's all I can really give. He kept the ship afloat, but it's still not good enough.
He's done
The
better
season,
than Allen did, but
yeah, for real. Like the thing I like about Coach Rizzi is that he's got that really fiery coaching style, which is something that this team really needed.
he's
The
got
problem
energy to him.
is, yeah, the problem is though it's still not replicating on the field as much. So, and we, but it also goes to show that there's a lot of other problems with the team itself. So that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah.
So in the end, Commanders going to win this one by 2 touchdowns at the very minimum. So it's not going to be fun.
And I'm assuming Paulo also took the Commanders, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be another one that's going to be 2 touchdowns. We have the Ravens at the Giants.
Mm. Yeah. Giants do not
Giants
stand
are
a
not
chance
winning.
in this one. Not by a long shot.
Wait, who are they playing?
It's the Ravens.
Oh yeah, no. This is Slaughterfest.
That's why I
Mm.
said 2
Derrick
touchdowns again.
Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson for $150 each.
Most likely. And I'm pretty sure Paulo picked the same. Next up, we have Bengals at the Titans. The Titans' defense can give people a little bit of a fight, but I don't think they're stopping the Bengals.
Yeah, no. Bengals offense is just too hot for them. And the Titans, while they can have their moments on defense where they can shut down an opposing offense, there's no stopping that Bengals offense. I think the Bengals offense continues to roll on. Joe, Joe Burrow continues to have a legacy season in a really bad season, if that makes any sense. um, but yeah, give me the Bengals by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bengals by 1 at least. I won't say 2, just because the Titans' defense has been pretty decent, but I think 1 is reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Bill.
They couldn't beat the Jags last week. The Jags are leagues below the Bengals. I don't think it's a question. Bengals.
It's
Is
not a
Mac
question
Jones
because
being?
of what division the Titans are in. We already know Will's
Oh my
answer.
god. I didn't say it this time, but now that you've provoked me, damnation and fire to all.
All right, and I'm assuming Paulo said the same. Next
Yep.
up,
Yep.
Patriots at the Cardinals. I'm picking the Cardinals. The Patriots are still struggling. The Cardinals, despite losing to the Seahawks last week, are still doing pretty decent.
Yeah, the Cardinals are like years ahead of the Patriots. I'm not saying light years because that's does not apply here. They're just years ahead of the Patriots, and I the Cardinals should have their way around the Patriots. The Patriots just look lost. Like the Patriots have had their moments where they could look like a good team,
Look,
but
you want to know what the
overall,
Patriots' real problem is?
hmm,
They're in the middle of a war. Everybody's got AK-47s and M4s, M16s, stuff like that. They have one tiny little pistol.
literally.
Una pistoleta.
Not even like an army. They have one pistol. One.
And it's shaped like a banana.
This is these are the after effects to when a head coach leaves a dynasty, quarterback, tight end, receivers, and all leave after creating a dynasty, and Robert Kraft has no plan except getting in trouble with the massage parlors like Deshaun Watson. So this is what happens to a professional football team when these things occur.
hmm
Saints,
Speaking of
take
that,
note. Don't do
speaking of
this.
that, yeah, we'll try not to. But going on a very short side note, Bill Belichick, I don't know if you guys do this, was hired by the University of North Carolina to coach for their football team.
Yeah, Will said that
Yes,
earlier today.
when I told you that in the group chat, don't you dare
Oh,
play that off like it's your news. You even responded to it.
I forgot. My bad.
You lie.
Chris got amnesia. Are we all in
Uh,
agreement though? This should be Cardinals.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Is
Yep.
yeah.
Paulo
Yeah.
is Paulo on the same page?
Paulo
Yes.
did not answer this one, did?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he said Cardinals.
All right. And I already know Will's answer for this next one. Colts, the Broncos. Will.
You're forcing my hand, okay? And it's not even because it's the division team.
No, the
It's just
Broncos are just
because
better.
the Broncos, yes, the Broncos at this point in time are a much better team than the Colts. Like, Anthony Richardson has played slightly better since being benched, but Bo Nix, Lord have mercy, is absolutely just a freaking gunner out there with Courtland Sutton. It took long enough, and that defense in itself has stood up and made plays. Like it has nothing to do with them being part of the AFC South at this point. This is just because like the Broncos are a much better contender right now.
Yeah.
Like it is insane what they've turned around. Like going from Russ last year to this with a rookie is wild. I don't think anyone saw it. Like there was, they talked about it, but they didn't think it was going to be the way it is.
Yeah.
I sort of called it. If we recall back to the first podcast episode of this season. um, Now, did I see it going the way it's going now? Probably not. If we're being completely honest, I thought they would at least be a better team, and they are indeed being a lot better than I anticipated. So, but yeah, I couldn't be happy for the Broncos and for Sean Payton, even though I really wish he was my coach still. But but with that being said, give me the Broncos all day. Colts stand no chance.
Yep.
Bo Nix is definitely in the running for Rookie of the Year, and
It's
Mhm.
honestly
you
him
better
and
hope.
Jaden. There's nobody really that
Brock
close.
Yeah.
Bowers. I will fight this to the end. Brock Bowers.
Oh, here we go
Don't care
again.
what y'all say.
Be realistic though, it's not gonna be a tight end.
I don't care. I
No.
will fight that to the end.
Will you burn us with fire and damnation if that
I
doesn't
will.
happen?
I will.
Oh no.
No, if it happens, he's gonna
Mm,
smack you with a fish.
I will beat you.
All right,
mm.
all Broncos.
Yep, including Paulo.
All right, and this is the game of the week coming up here. We got the Bills at the Lions.
Oh, this should be a nice
This
classic
is what we've
showdown.
been talking about. Yes, potential Super Bowl look ahead.
I
Mhm.
hope, I
Potentially,
wish, I pray.
this is gonna be a game, and it's not
Yes.
good because Bills defense is not the greatest. Lions defense is kind of falling off
Because they're
due to
getting
a
injured as heck.
yes. And I'm talking not just one injury, I'm talking multiple injuries a game. So this is literally going to be another repeat of last week of Bills Rams. Like Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery and Amon Ra Laporta. Like Tim Patrick is establishing himself this season. Like Jamison Williams. Like the Lions literally have way too many weapons to
Yeah.
have, to be where they are. Like it's insane. And I mean, so
y-
do the Bills. Like the Bills are in the same spot. And Amari's getting, establishing himself once again. And it's and Coleman's supposed to be back, Shakir, James Cook, even Ty Johnson, RB2 over there doing what he's doing. Like this is literally going to be a rematch of last week. It should be. It should be a shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a shootout. And I got a lot of bones to pick with Jared Goff and St. Brown. Those two bums cost me my fantasy playoff hopes. You two bums. I shall save my peace for now, but I am not happy with you two. You two cost me the playoffs. But with that being said, going to be an instant classic. It's going to be a shootout, I think. Both defenses are going to be tested. And, well, when I say tested, I mean it's just going to get run over straight up.
It's just gonna be a shootout. That's it. That is just a
Yeah. So, but I'm giving the edge to the Lions. I think the Lions can beat them. And I'm only picking the Lions because they have home field advantage. So that's kind of my big thing with the Lions. The Bills will give them everything, and I know they will. But I think the Lions coming out on top with this one.
yeah. I'm going Lions as well. Like we said, both teams have really good offenses, but as I said earlier, a lot of it is running through Allen. For the Lions, it's not really all running through Goff. It's been spread around. They are more balanced.
hmm They're looking like the Saints 2009 offense, where it was just nice and balanced between run game and passing. Man, it's beautiful. Wish I had that offense again, but here we are.
They're living
But
in the
anyway,
past,
Will, your
old
thoughts?
man.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I mean, I initially have Bills over the Lions, but then I've relooked and like you said, it is at home for the Lions. And I mean that absolutely changes not so much of weather aspects, but the Lions do, I feel like, have a better home stand when it comes to games. Like the way their stadium is, the crowd compared to the Bills. Even though Bills fans are wild. Um, I think I'm gonna go Lions. I mean, I think it's got to be them at home. Like this is going to be one of those. It's going to come down to the last quarter, like just like this past week.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a close one. What did Paulo pick?
Paulo is
he picked.
going Bills,
He be
but
the
He's the
this is
odd
the
man
thing. I
out.
need his explanation, and he's not here.
Yeah, I want to know why.
Hmm,
I really do.
same.
Well, moving on. We got Buccaneers at the Chargers. I'm going Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers too. Like, I think this is gonna be a pretty close matchup because the Chargers have a pretty adequate offense, and they only lost by what 2 points against the Chiefs, which isn't too bad. The Buccaneers, as I expected, completely wiped out the Raiders, but the Chargers are at home this time, and the Buccaneers will probably struggle with the Chargers this week, and especially because the Chargers have a way better defense than theirs. So that's where I give the edge is the Chargers not just being at home, but they have a better defense. So I'm taking Chargers by 3 in this matchup.
Yeah, as much as y'all know, I like my boy Bake.
hmm
Has been rough. Like they're gonna win the NFC South, which isn't saying much, but like he's been struggling. Like last week, two fumbles, interception. Started off hot with two touchdowns early and just fell apart. Like it did not look good at all. Bucky Irving got hurt last week. He sat out. Like Rashad White still did what he did, but they are off this season. But who knows why? Like there's just something going on over there, and I blame Jose for voodoo for something. I feel like he be doing some voodoo just because the
What I
Saints are
do?
losing. I just have a feeling it's
No,
him.
no. If anybody, it's
He
Chris.
be hating. Probably is Chris. Chris a big hater.
Me?
But yeah, I think that the Chargers being as close as they were to beating the Chiefs due to voodoo magic. I do agree with the Chargers on this one, and it's at home. It's in Los Angeles, so that should be easy for. Should be an easy win for them.
Yeah.
And
Char.
Paulo Charger, yeah.
Yep, Paulo Chargers.
Yeah. For this next one, we got Steelers at the Eagles, and despite how good the Eagles have been, I'm picking Steelers.
This is gonna
I
be a look.
I'm giving it to the
Go ahead.
Steelers just because I think their defense is better than the Eagles. A lot of the teams they have played have been, uh, they've been closer games, but some of them have been like it hasn't been running away. It's been dogfights.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is gonna be a battle for the state of Pennsylvania, considering both teams are in Pennsylvania. um, but this is a tough one because the Steelers have been playing really well, especially on defense. The Eagles have been playing really well on offense. So this is going to be a classic showdown between a superior defense versus a superior offense. Which one is going to budge? And my question is, can the Steelers offense do enough to score on the Eagles defense? Because the Eagles defense is pretty adequate for the most part. I wouldn't say it's anywhere at the level of the Steelers defense, that's for sure. But as they always say, defense wins games. So I'm giving the edge to the Steelers in
Mhm.
this matchup.
Oh, I can't. I can't. This could be another Super Bowl matchup in itself. If the Steelers could beat the Chiefs, like, and Philly can beat the Lions, like this is another one that I could see possibly happening. Like if you look at like the road for playoffs and everything, just
Yeah.
the way the Steelers are playing, but I don't know if I can easily give it to Pittsburgh.
Oh, it's gonna be
You
a
know, I still
showdown.
think it's gonna be a showdown. Like it's gonna be a game. I don't see this is another game. How does this not make Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, that's
How does
my
this not make
question.
Monday Night Football? Like how do
Especially
we
like when
No.
we get to the Monday night football games, because there is
and the
two
Sunday
this
night?
week.
Is there two?
Sunday nights still better than the two Monday nights. The two Monday nights are kind of trash.
Did I just like misread everything? Hold on. Let me
Maybe.
make sure I'm just not misreading things. What the heck? I guess there is two Monday night games.
Yep.
Hmm. But
Huh.
anyways, um, yeah, I don't think it's that easy. Why are my time zones so weird? Another
Oh
thing.
hell.
My time zones are off somehow. Um,
Man's in
yeah,
Pacific time.
I'm gonna go Philly. It is at home for them. I do think that makes somewhat of a difference, especially for like Pittsburgh. If it was vice versa and it was like at Pittsburgh, I would definitely say Pittsburgh, 100%. But I think Philly will come out on top. But I think it's gonna be all the way to the end. I think it's just gonna be like the Lions and Bills. It's gonna be knockout, drag out. It's gonna be 4 quarters of like Chris said, that offense versus that defense. Like which one is gonna budge, and if so, can Pittsburgh score even a field goal more, than Philly can. But I still give the edge to Philly,
Yeah.
and
Fair
it's
assessment.
going to be good. How do we not get
Um,
these games on like Sunday and Monday night? Like, what are we
I
doing?
don't
Why are
know.
we not
I
flexing
don't
these
know.
things?
Because our Sunday night game is Packers at Seahawks.
Well, hold on. Paulo also picked the Eagles.
So
Yeah, we're
split then.
split on this one.
Well, like I said, Sunday night is Packers at the Seahawks. Uh, I don't know what to do here because
It, it
neither of these
this
teams have been great, but they've been
Oh,
good.
yeah, they're mid. I mean, Packers 9-4, Seahawks 8-5. Packers have been hurt and beat up in this in receiver wise. Dobbs, Watson, they've been taking turns going out. They
Yeah.
just each one vacation apparently. Seahawks, they're back and forth on if they decide to play good that Sunday or not between Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. Who's going to be the better back, DK and JSN? Like, who's going to be better over there? Like, they're
Honestly,
both wishy washy teams.
I think I have to give this one to the Seahawks just because I like their offense more. Like you said, Packers offense is rotating out injuries. Um,
Hmm.
the Seahawks just, like you said, DK, JSN, Charbonnet, they have so much there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree because I think the Seahawks have better wide receivers than anyone on the Packers team, and and it's mainly because of the injuries that the Packers have sustained, as we already mentioned, and plus it's at the Seahawks' house. That's the other known 12th man stadium.
Yeah.
So it's like it's hard to beat Seattle in Seattle. That's just hard to do. So I'm definitely taking Seattle by at least 3 in this matchup.
Same. I'm just gonna
And
confirm mine. Same.
And
yeah,
Polo,
odd man
Odd
out.
man.
he picked the
Tuesday, guys.
Packers.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah. All the big Packers.
let's go to the 2 Monday night games. These should honestly be quick. It's
These are
Vikings
terrible.
Bears.
Vikings. It's not even a question.
Vikings.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
it's in Minnesota.
yeah.
So that's
Bears.
goal all day.
The Bears are in hell.
Yeah, and let's just talk
Yeah.
about the Vikings absolutely smashing Kirko on his revenge game by double.
Uh
42-21. Jettas for 2 tutties, Jordan Addison for 3, like
it
big
was
6
beautiful.
5 touchdown game from Sam Darnold.
It was absolutely beautiful.
Yes, we know, Chris. Hater. Chris
Hey,
full of haterade.
hey, you're one to talk there.
Not like Chris.
No, but it's still there. And then
Dirty
last
bird
game of
can't
the
fly on
week.
one wing.
Last game of the week. Speaking of dirty birds,
Yeah.
Falcons at the Raiders, and as bad as the Falcons have looked these past 2 weeks, they're not losing to the Raiders.
No. The Falcons losing streak ends this week for sure. Now, as y'all know, if they do find a way to lose to the Raiders, I will be relentless on the roasting. I will never let them hear the end of it because that would be the funniest thing that happened this entire season.
If Kirko loses to Aiden O'Connell, like I know you just signed a
Um,
contract, but it's time.
is it even going to be Aiden O'Connell?
Yeah, actually, I did see something from Ian Rappaport today about Aiden O'Connell coming back. That's
All
why I
right.
brought it up.
But realistically, Falcons should win this game. They're
Yeah.
clearly better, and I just don't see them losing 5 in a row, especially against the Raiders. Just because they got too much on the line now with the Buccaneers now starting to roll away with the division, even though they're only 1 game ahead of the Falcons. The Falcons need to win this one to keep their playoff hopes and division hopes alive. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
Per Antonio Purse, O'Connell was at today's walkthroughs. QB's feeling good, and we'll see how he goes
Mm.
as he starts Monday night. I mean, he has that extra day too, is the big thing.
yeah.
It makes sense.
But that will take care of all the stuff for week 15. I think we mentioned this last week. We'll not be able to record an episode like this for the next 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be
Probably.
with my family for Christmas. Not sure how we're going to handle all that. We'll probably just get Paulo to edit a little video for us so we can have that up. But we'll be back, I guess, after New Year's.
Yep.
All right.
As long as we keep all of our fingers of fireworks.
I've already forgotten that guy's name. What was his? Who was it?
Pierre Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JPP, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out my boy Daniel Hill as well. Almost lost his fingers New Year's a few years back.
Oh
God.
no.
Sorry, buddy.
What do you mean? Sorry. What did you do?
It was not me. It was him.
I don't
Another
like the
pause.
tone of the voice there.
Story not appropriate for YouTube video.
Oh
Oh
God.
no.
And with that, we're out.